Hello and welcome back to Chatting in English. I'm Sarah, and I want to begin today with a feeling. That feeling of delivering what you thought was a brilliant presentation on a video call, only to be met with silence, black squares, a chat box that remains empty, the creeping doubt. Did anyone actually hear me?
And I'm William. That feeling, Sarah, isn't just in your head. It's a measurable phenomenon. Researchers at the Stanford Virtual Human Interaction Lab have a term for it: presence disparity. In a physical room, a leader's presence is ambient. It fills the space. In a digital room, presence is allocated. It's given only to the person who is speaking and only when their audio is unmuted. This fractures the traditional aura of leadership.
So today, we're solving for that fracture. This isn't about becoming a more charismatic person in general, though that's wonderful. This is about engineering and projecting digital charisma, the specific, learnable skill set that allows you to build authority, inspire action, and command respectful attention when your team, your clients, or your audience is scattered across cities, time zones, and Wi-Fi connections.
We're moving beyond the basics of look at the camera. We're diving into the neuroscience of distributed attention, the behavioral scripts for asynchronous leadership, and the technical production values that subconsciously communicate competence. We'll cover everything from the physics of your voice online to the architecture of an inspiring Slack message.
But first, we need to understand the enemy. William, what are the core psychological barriers that make digital leadership so uniquely challenging?
We can break it down into three primary barriers, Sarah. First, the cognitive load mismatch. In person, your brain processes leadership cues holistically: body language, voice, spatial dynamics, all at once. Digitally, your team's brains are engaged in what's called transactional looking. They're consciously decoding a compressed signal. This extra cognitive work drains the mental bandwidth usually reserved for feeling inspired or connected.
Second barrier, the attenuation of nonverbal leakage. This sounds technical, but it's crucial. In person, much of trust and empathy is built through subconscious, leaked signals, a subtle mirroring of posture, a shared microexpression after a joke. These signals are often lost in digital compression or off camera. What remains are the deliberate verbal messages, which can feel more transactional and less human.
And third, perhaps most importantly, the collapse of proxemic authority. Proxemics is the study of personal space. A leader in a physical room commands space. They move through it. Their physicality implies scale. On a screen, everyone is the same size, in the same little box. The innate spatial hierarchy of a conference room is flattened. You must build authority through new means.
So the playing field is, in a way, leveled. But that's not a disadvantage. It's an opportunity. It means digital charisma isn't about who has the loudest voice or tallest stature. It's a skill set that can be learned, practiced, and mastered by anyone. And it begins not with what you do during a meeting, but long before it starts.
True digital charisma isn't switched on when you hit join meeting. It's an aura that precedes you. It's built in the asynchronous quiet spaces. Think of it as your digital shadow, the impression you cast when you're not actively performing.
Let's start with the most foundational element, the platform persona, your consistent identity across email, Slack, LinkedIn, and Calendar. Charismatic digital leaders have what we call cross-platform cohesion. Their profile photo is professional and consistent. Their status messages are intentional. Their email signature is clean and informative. This cohesion builds subconscious reliability.
A key tactic here is the signature content sliver. In your email signature, below your title, include a rotating value-adding line. Currently reading, book title, or recently inspired by, podcast or article. This tiny detail is a charisma drip feed. It makes you seem curious, engaged, and gives others a low-stakes conversation starter.
Now let's talk about the most powerful pre-meeting tool, the calendar invite as a leadership document. Most invites are barren, weekly sync. A charismatic leader's invite sets the stage. It includes a clear, outcome-oriented title, Q3 planning, objective, finalized launch priorities, a concise agenda in the description, bulleted with time allocations, pre-work when applicable, please review the one-pager linked and come with one key concern, a link to a collaborative document. The agenda lives in a shared doc where people can add notes pre-meeting.
This does three things. First, it frames you as an architect, not just a participant. Second, it respects cognitive load by providing clarity in advance. Third, it begins the meeting before the meeting. People arrive mentally prepared, which makes your job of leading them far easier.
Next foundation, the principle of predictable rhythm. In the ambiguity of remote work, predictability is a form of psychological safety, which is a bedrock of charismatic leadership. This means starting meetings exactly on time, every time. It means sending weekly updates on the same day. It means your response time to messages falls within a predictable window. This reliability frees your team's brains from anxiety about you, so they can focus on the work.
And we cannot overstate the charisma multiplier of technical flawlessness. Your audio must be pristine. Your video must be stable and well lit. Your screen shares must be seamless. In a digital context, technical glitches aren't just annoyances, they are charisma leaks. They undermine the perception of competence and control. Invest in a good microphone, Ethernet connection, and lighting as non-negotiable tools of your trade.
With this foundation laid, this aura of reliability, preparation, and competence, you now walk into the digital room. But how you enter and occupy that room is where the active performance of charisma begins.
The moment you join, the performance begins. But performance here doesn't mean inauthentic. It means heightened intentionality. Every signal must be deliberately crafted to overcome the medium's limitations.
We start with the vocal instrument. On a pixelated video call, your voice carries up to 70% of your emotional and authoritative weight. The charismatic digital voice has 3 attributes: pacing, pitch, and pause.
Pacing, you must speak 10 to 15% slower than feels natural. Network lag and cognitive processing demand this. It also conveys calm control. Pitch, use a slightly lower pitch register than normal. Research from the Journal of Voice confirms lower pitches are associated with higher perceptions of authority and trustworthiness in audio-only or low-visibility contexts. Pause, this is your most powerful tool. A 2 to 3 second pause after a key point allows it to land, creates dramatic tension, and gives space for others to process. It fights the urge to fill silence, which reads as nervousness.
Visual command is next. We've discussed framing and lighting. Now let's talk stillness as power. The charismatic leader on camera is remarkably still. No fidgeting, no shifting, no exaggerated gestures that go out of frame. This stillness focuses all attention on your face and words. It projects mental and emotional control.
Then there's lens lock. True digital eye contact isn't looking at faces on your screen. It's speaking to the camera lens. This creates the direct, intimate feeling of being addressed. Practice this. When making your most important point, look directly into the lens. It's unnervingly powerful.
Now for the behavioral protocols, the ritualized opening. Don't just dive into the agenda. Use the first 2 minutes for a presence round. Let's start by having everyone share one word for how you're arriving today. Or, before we start, I want to acknowledge the great work from Team A on the deliverable yesterday. This ritual pulls people out of their multitasking mindset and into the shared room you're leading.
Strategic naming. Use people's names deliberately and frequently. That's an excellent point, Priya. What do you think, Mark? This counteracts the anonymity of boxes. It's a verbal spotlight, making each person feel seen by the leader.
The art of the digital interruption. In person, you can use a raised hand or a shift in posture to take the floor. Digitally, you need a clear, respectful protocol. Establish it. Team, if you have a point, please use the raise hand function or simply unmute and say, jumping in. As the leader, you are the moderator of this flow. Acknowledging the raised hand publicly, I see David's hand, David, go ahead, reinforces your control of the room.
And third, perhaps most critically, managing the void. The silence of muted participants is where leadership anxiety breeds. Reframe it. That silence is attentive listening. Thank people for it. I appreciate the focused silence as we work through this complex data. You define the meaning of the void, so it doesn't define you.
A leader's presence in the office hallway is gone. That's where asynchronous charisma becomes your superpower. This is your ability to inspire, guide, and motivate through written and recorded media where you have no real-time feedback.
Let's start with the charismatic written word. In email and Slack, charisma is conveyed through clarity, warmth, and strategic emphasis. Use short paragraphs. Use bold not for shouting, but for guiding the reader's eye to the key action or insight. Avoid sarcasm and ambiguity. The tone is easily lost.
The feedback sandwich is dead. Instead, use the clear context, specific feedback, forward path model. Alex, regarding the client proposal draft. Context, your analysis on page 2 is exceptionally sharp. That's exactly the insight they need. Specific praise. The executive summary could be tightened to mirror that clarity. I've added 2 suggestions and comments. Forward path. Thanks for driving this. This is directive, supportive, and efficient.
The voice note as leadership tool. A 60-second voice note on Slack or Teams can have monumental impact. It conveys nuance, tone, and care that text cannot. Use it for praise, for complex explanations, or to show enthusiasm. It's a burst of human presence in the asynchronous void.
The culture of public recognition. Digital charisma isn't hoarded, it's distributed. Use public channels to shine a light on others. Tag team members in congratulatory messages. Celebrate wins in the weekly update. This spotlight sharing builds loyalty and shows you are a leader who builds up their team.
Strategic vulnerability. This is advanced but powerful. Asynchronous channels allow for more thoughtful sharing. A message like, reflecting on last quarter, I underestimated the challenge of X. Here's what I learned. delivered via a short Loom video or a thoughtful email, builds immense trust and psychological safety. It shows confidence, not weakness.
Finally, the curated digital artifact. Share articles, podcasts, or tools with a one-sentence insight about why it's relevant. Read this piece on consumer trends. The third point is exactly why our Project Pivot makes sense. This positions you as a synthesizer and a strategic thinker, not just a manager of tasks.
We've given you the scripts, the techniques, the protocols. But charisma, digital or otherwise, ultimately corrodes if it's not powered by genuine care and curiosity. The technology is the conduit, not the message.
Your final discipline is intentional reach-outs. Once a week, schedule 15 minutes to send 2 to 3 unprompted, non-transactional check-ins. A message to a team member. No reply needed, but I was impressed with how you handled the client question yesterday. A note to a peer. The framework you shared last week is already helping my team. Thank you. This is the digital equivalent of management by walking around. It's leadership by caring aloud.
Remember the goal: frictionless humanity. All the tech setup, the vocal training, the agenda crafting, it all serves one purpose: to remove the friction of the medium so your humanity, your insight, and your leadership can connect directly with another person's brain and heart.
Digital charisma isn't about being the most dominant tile on the screen. It's about being the most trusted signal in the noise. It's about creating a space where people feel clearer, calmer, and more capable because you are leading the call.
Start with one element. Master your vocal pause. Revolutionize your calendar invites. Send one asynchronous voice note of praise. Build this new presence brick by brick.
Next week, we'll explore the flip side, the empowered digital follower, how to stand out and support remotely.
Until then, choose one charisma leak to plug and one charisma signal to amplify. The digital room is waiting for you to lead it.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. Truly, every episode feels special because you show up, listen, and make this community what it is. William and I pour our hearts into these conversations, and knowing that you're out there, tuning in, growing with us, and sharing your thoughts, it means more than we can ever say. Before we wrap up, I want to remind you of something important. This podcast isn't just something you listen to, it's something you're a part of. Your support helps us keep creating, keep improving, and keep bringing you deeper, better, more meaningful episodes every single week. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that subscribe button on your favorite platform. It helps us reach more people who'd love this content just as much as you do. And if you can, leave us a quick rating or review. It truly goes a long way. You can also follow us on social media, send us your questions, or share topics you want us to explore next. We love hearing from you, and your ideas often shape future episodes. Thank you again for being here. Stay curious, stay kind, and stay connected. Until next time, this is Sarah, signing off with gratitude and love. Don't forget, subscribe, share, and keep the conversation going. We'll see you in the next episode.
All right, everyone. Before we close out today's episode, I just want to take a moment to say a huge thank you. Seriously, you could be anywhere right now, but you chose to spend your time with us. That means everything. Every message, every share, every moment you tune in helps this podcast grow into something bigger than we ever imagined. Sarah and I are truly grateful for this community. This show exists because of listeners like you, and it continues because you keep showing up. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. We've got so many exciting stories, ideas, and discussions coming up, and I don't want you missing even a single one. Hit that subscribe button, follow us online, and stay connected with the conversation. And if you enjoyed today's episode, take just a few seconds to leave a rating or a short review. It helps more than you know. It pushes the podcast forward and helps new listeners discover our community. We always want to hear from you too. Drop your episode suggestions, your questions, or your thoughts. You inspire so much of what we create. All right, that's it for today. Thank you again for listening. Stay inspired, stay motivated, and remember to subscribe. This is William, signing off, and I'll see you in the next episode.